with you, most of y'all in the chat, I'm be real with you, like I'm be so honest, they definitely did align with Charlie Kirk's message as white Christian nationalists, except it was F Israel and F black people and every other race. So yeah, that's why y'all trying to say that, oh, it was a gripper that shot him. I was looking at y'all like y'all were stupid. Just like y'all must have not heard how grippers are or what they stand on. If you actually look, grippers are one of the most hurt people about Charlie Kirk's death because he was a white Christian male. And they love they white Christian males. As do we all.
You see that millions of people were touched by his activism. And I looked at his activism in a very one-dimensional way, which is that he's pro-Trump, he's pro-Republican, he's pushing the talking points. We would call it Talking Points USA. That was kind of the joke.
TPUSA.
Yes, which is true. Yes. If you don't know what Groypers is, thank you, Sloth. Yeah, people don't know that it is Nick Fuentes fan base. That is a Groyper.
Talking Point
right.
And if you want to be able to tell them out on social media, they're the guy with the Pepe Le Frog meme.
Talking points. His job is to go out there and sell, the party. But seeing the outpouring of support, I mean, I saw a lot of young people that were emotional, young men, young women going to the vigils and actually distraught. And I think they were distraught, one, because it was so evil what was done to him. To see that kind of violence was really upsetting. But also I think people were touched because Charlie Kirk, it does put things in perspective when a person dies. I don't believe he was a bad man. I disagreed with him. I didn't like his politics. But what I've come to respect about him is that he was a very hard worker. He was kind. You notice that when he talked to people he didn't like or disagreed with. He was open to other people. He changed his mind, even when he dealt with me. And he was never particularly nice to me, let's just say. But he was to a lot of people. And maybe more than anything, the thing that touched people the most was his testimony of his faith, that he believed in God. And, I didn't like what he advocated for politics, but what he advocated for Christianity. That's the part that people are going to remember him for. That's the part that people, when they think Charlie Kirk, they don't think of the Republican debate bro. They think
do we think of him as both a Republican debate bro and a strong advocate for Christianity and all of his values? I mean, bro was preaching Jesus Christ since day one, okay? So we're going to see him as that debate bro, just like how South Park seen him, and an advocate for Christianity. One of the strongest ones for the youth. So we're going to go ahead and give bro that one. I'm sorry, Nick, but we got to give them both. Like, don't minimize my man Kirk.
About a guy that was preaching marriage, values, decent Christian values. Christ himself and his sacrifice on the cross. He was Protestant. I'm Catholic. And when they held the memorial yesterday, I'm going to tell you the truth. I thought there were things about the memorial that were distasteful. But one thing that was exceptional about it is the way that the name of Christ was proclaimed to everybody. And I think that, when you see someone die like that, the reason it's jarring for people is because we realize that we're all going to die suddenly, unexpectedly. And like him, he's 31 years old. Nobody expects that a 31-year-old with that kind of money and influence is going to die all of a sudden. He had plans. He was going to get on his private jet and fly to do another event some other time. Nobody expects that you're going to die, someone like that at that age. And when you see someone like that cut down so viciously, you realize how life is so fragile and it's so temporary and it's so short. Any day we could all die. And what that then naturally makes us think about is, well, what does it all really mean then? If you could get stopped in your tracks at any time like that, what actually really matters in life? And what mattered about Charlie, when you see in the end, is it's not actually the times when he was maybe taking the piss and saying, what is a woman? It's the times when he was sincerely professing his faith, talking about moral virtues and the moral virtues that he lived in his deeds. And so to me, I guess it was a change in perspective, kind of realizing everybody asks the same question: how will I be remembered? When we get unexpectedly killed, or when we die, or when bad things happen. And it's a challenge to kind of live every day thinking, could today be the day? And what did I do on my final day? How did I act? Did I tell the truth? Was I courageous? Was I kind? Not just to my friends and my family, but also to my enemies. So I think it brought people to the center a little bit, centered in a spiritual sense.
Did you at all watch it yesterday where you had moments of sitting there saying, this was a good guy, man. Shit, I wish I would have changed the approach with our relationship. Did you at all have that moment?
I don't know that I would have changed my approach because
Man.
politics is vicious, and that's just the game. He was vicious to us. We were vicious to him. But I do think that I harshly judged him. I think when anybody dies, you feel that way. And I think especially since he died, you look at him and you realize this guy was not actually the worst guy in the world. He was kind of my nemesis in a way. And maybe I was his.
I mean, to be real though, like let the story play all the way out. That man would have been our 2032 candidate
on the right wing. But I realized that we had so much more in common than we disagreed with, actually.
So do you think when you hear the statement, let's find a way to lower the temperatures, do you in your mind say, shut up with this lowering the temperature bullshit? Stop it. Lower the temperature. Do you know what's going on? Do you hear that message now and say, maybe we gotta lower the temperature?
Like, stop the cap.
Maybe if I got all these young guys that are following me, how Christ-like am I being? What am I? This whole WWJD. I had a call with somebody 2 days ago. I won't mention the name, but also very talented and capable. Very person I believe in tremendously as well. And we also, have had a challenge. But I said, listen, every time as I'm going through this, and I'm out there, I took my kids. Everyone's like, don't take your kids to, what do you call it? The Charlie's and I said, no, I'm taking my kids. I believe in God. I have faith.
Mm-hmm.
And if I move forward with fear, what a coward. I'm a leader. I'm a leader amongst leaders. We're going to go there. They sit there proud. We're good. Of course, we make the investment for security and all that stuff, but we got to go. We can't change our life dramatically where we're seen as being cowards, right?
Yeah.
We're never going to do that. This is America's the greatest country in the world.
I do recommend, if you're going to be doing speaking engagements like Kirk is, that you might want to put up with a presidential blast shield.
I'm going to do my part. My life has changed because of God, Jesus, America. I am the luckiest human being alive. That is my feeling, the vibe that I have, right? But when you hear the words, we got to lower the temperature, what's the first thing you think about?
I think it's kind of just a wrong perspective on it because, I'm an intense person, and I think that this is a decisive moment for America. And, what really made me beside myself is not necessarily that someone killed Kirk, because there's a lot of crazy people out here that unfortunately do carry out acts of violence. It was that there were like 100,000 liberals who are in their right mind that were celebrating, that were glib about it, that crashed vigils, that danced, that laughed, that mocked it, that said it was a good thing, he deserved it. And you realize that it is a battle between good and evil. And I don't believe that when you're fighting evil, you lower the intensity. I think that we must very intensely fight evil because we have to win. If we lose, and by we, I mean decent people, they're going to hurt us and they're going to destroy the things that we care about. So for me, it's not necessarily about intensity. Temperature, I would say intensity. I think we should all fight for what we believe in intensely every day. I would change it and say it's really a question of love and hate. It was a hateful action to kill Charlie Kirk. It's a hateful action to celebrate. I think that we should be intense, but we should also move in love. And what that means is, I said this on my show, people kill each other with bullets and literally murder each other and take their lives. We also kill each other by destroying each other's reputations. When we lie about somebody, when we gossip about somebody, when you go and actually do the examen of conscience at confession at a Catholic church, and you go through all the different sins and you say, because you have to contemplate, you have to confess everything, every mortal sin, you have to confess all of it. So first you examine it systematically. Have I done this? Have I done that? And one of the violations of the commandment, thou shalt not kill, is gossip, detraction. It's attacking somebody with a lie, because that's a form of killing somebody in a certain sense. It's a form of damning somebody.
I mean, I guess the term character assassination comes into play at that point.
And so I wouldn't say we need to lower the intensity, but we should always move in love. And by that, I don't mean some kind of like new age and move in love, very vague and non-specific.
Totally. Yeah.
But I mean, we should want what's good for everybody. We should will the good for us and also even for our enemies too, and for the whole country. And so that's why I said my first reaction when I did my show, a lot of people said, well, we now got to go and kill two of theirs. They killed one of ours. Now we need to get violent. Now we got to go and pick up arms. How many's too many? I think there were, not anybody notable, but I think there were a lot of people that were thinking that.
On the conservative side?
I think so.
You think so?
I do.
Are you saying groypers, or you're saying like What part of that? Because are you saying Groypers?
No, absolutely not.
You're saying just conservatives, period.
I'm saying, yeah, I think that, I mean, do you think that after people saw Charlie Kirk get murdered, there weren't at least some people that said, we have to match the left?
Perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. So my initial reaction, I'm a very bad person. Very. Initial reaction is vengeance, right? That's normal. Initial. But, you know, that's the part where, you know, there's certain people that will come say stuff about me. They say it all the time. You've got money from Assad. We don't do sponsorship money here. We haven't taken sponsorship money for 2 years. The only thing we take is AdSense, and that's what YouTube does. We don't pick and choose what it is, right? But they'll say stuff like that. Doesn't bother me because it's like, you know, if you fight it, they're going to do more of it. So what are you going to? Oh, no,
yeah,
that's
true.
what bothers them. Let me keep.
I mean, no, that's true. I mean, if you try to fight though, like during the election, try to keep saying that, S.E.T, your whole show is Russian supported. Everybody who super chats and they're actually Russian agents. I'm like, I know what? I'm not even gonna argue that with you. Because, you know, you probably start looking through people's profiles and all that, trying to link them to some type of Russian account or somebody in Russia. And I ain't doing that. And I ain't going to put you through it. So I just ignore it. Because, you know what? There are actually some people who are stubborn enough, who are crazy enough to try to do the research into looking into every guy that super chats in and try to link them back to a Russian agent or something. And you know what? They might F around and find out something. You know what? They might actually find some success. And if they do, let me know. Because they should be paying me more.
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do your part.
I'm just saying.
Maybe if I was in my 20s, I would constantly fight that over and over and over again. I'm not. To me, I also think there's a moment here, where we have a moment. I feel like within the Conservative Party, there's a lot of different gangs. Okay, in a mob.
Oh, and to speak on that whole, you know, conservatives trying to go tit for tat with the Dems. Nah, I don't know. Not many guys on my side. We were pretty upset. Like we were pretty upset, but we weren't going like, oh, we need to go take out one of theirs. No, even I was saying, what I was even saying was that I don't even think the left can honestly relate to us because who on their side has been shot? Who on their side has been assassinated? I mean, name the best guy on the left wing that y'all got. Name your favorite political pundit. Have they been shot at? No. Has somebody throwing a brick smoothie at them? No. Like, so you guys are over here having all the rhetoric in the world safely, by the way. Y'all can say all this safely, but we say it and there's agitators that are against us. Like, yeah, I mean, you guys even trying to relate to the conservatives on this whole situation. Well, you can't because nobody on y'all side who's super popular has been taken out. And God forbid that ever happens. Like, I'm happy that it hasn't happened on the left. I hope nobody on the left gets hurt. So I'm not really hearing Nick Fuentes when he says, oh, well, people on the right were like, don't you think we need to go tit for tat with them? Well, here's the thing. I would look at those guys and say, well, who on their side is even worth taking out? No offense. And I really hope like that nothing ever happens to no political pundit on the left. But I'm just saying, like, who's even worth that? Who they have is moving people like that. They're losing people. And they might lose more people due to their hateful attitude on the Kirk assassination. They're being gutted literally. So honestly, I didn't really even see a point to, I don't see anybody even having a point to say, oh, we need to go tit for tat for them. No, let's let them continue to hang themselves.
If you go study the history of the mob with Lucky Luciano, when they created the commission, all these different families came together, right? It doesn't mean.
And I do hear you. People say the Democratic politicians that were murdered. No, I'm sorry. You can't compare that to Kirk because we didn't know about those guys until they died. Everybody knew who Kirk was before he died. So tell me a left-wing political pundit that we all know that has been shot at, assassinated. Like, come on, name one. You can't. I mean, you want to bring up Melissa Hortman, but you didn't even know who Melissa Hortman was until she died. Like, to be quite honest,
we're buddy. Hey, how you doing? You know, everything's good. That's not what that means. It just means, listen, at the end of the day, maybe the enemy isn't who we think the enemy is.
Hope not, bro.
Okay. Maybe you and Charlie, 90%, I don't know, 80, 90%, you were on the same page. Is it worth us getting this nasty over the 10%? I don't know. I don't know. I feel we're at an era right now that I think all the voices matter. And I think, like, I don't know what your aspirations are long term. Do you have any aspirations to run for office one day?
Potentially.
Okay, but
actually, yo, Slaw, I wanted to ask you a question though. Wasn't she the one that was about to like kind of go against well, pretty much go against the Democrats on immigration? Like, I did hear she was pretty much in fear of her life over that. I just want to know if that's true or not. But yeah, unless you were in Minnesota or in Minneapolis, you didn't know who she was. Like, let's be quite honest. So if you weren't in that state or that city, you did not know who Melissa Hortman was until she died. You knew who Charlie Kirk was before he died. Like, come on now. And I want the left to go ahead and give me a good example of that happening to y'all. If not, then man, all I'm hearing is gaslighting and excuses.
potentially, do you think Charlie was going to one day run for office?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I
No,
said that all
not
the time.
saying
I
that.
think you probably have some plans of one day running.
No, I'm not saying that's only popular. I'm not saying it only matters if you're popular. I'm saying that the message strikes harder when you're popular. Like, you actually feel like your whole movement's being attacked when you kill a popular political pundit. And I'm pretty sure the left will feel the same if that happened to y'all. So, and let's be real, if this happened to some random conservative, whatchamacallit, it wouldn't hit as hard as Kirk. And I'll admit that right now. If it was some random political pundit, some random politician on the right, be honest with you, it would it would suck. We would talk about it, but it wouldn't hit as hard as Kirk. And we honestly wouldn't be feeling like all of our values are being attacked, to be quite honest with you.
They showed me a clip when he said, I want 100,000 people that are making money, low-key, underground, nobody knows, where you're kind of breaking that down. Okay, great. So you want to run for office one day. Great. You have your own certain ideas, philosophies that you want to go. But I think that this next part, I think this next part, as we go through it, this is an MLK moment. This was the MLK of Republicans and conservatives, even though Martin Luther King was a Republican. And
which kills me why they try to call Kirk a racist, because he really was like, I ain't gonna lie, people hate when I say it. I know my black homies gonna hate when I say this, but yeah, he was damn near like the modern day MLK. He had a unifying message. He tried to bring black, white, Hispanics, everybody into the conservative family under, well, nation, family, and God. Well, God, nation, and family. I mean, and we could all get down with that. I mean, let's be real. I don't care what skin color you are. We could all get down with that one. And shout out Luna, they unalived our future president. And ain't that the truth? Like I said, he'd probably been our 2032 presidential candidate. Because I believe by 2028, I think he'd only been 33. So he'd had to been 35 to run.
His wife called Nixon to get some help. They didn't call back.
Oh man, what it could have been. What it could have been.
And then that's when they flipped. I'm going to be a Democrat, and then next year, and then you got Barry Goldwater, and the whole thing is a mess. African Americans were conservatives for many, many years, statistically. My question for you is, how is your approach going to change moving forward? Are you still planning on going all out, aggressive? Because you said love and hate, right? Are you still trying to go with that part? Like yesterday, Trump said something, I don't know if you caught it. You probably caught it, when he said, I hate my enemies. I hate my enemies. I don't know. Erica's probably going to come talk to me afterwards, change my mind. You got to love the guy that he talks like that, right? You guys got a little bit of that similar style of things that you guys do. But I do think deep down inside, he's loved today. I do think he's loved today. What's going to change about your approach? Anything, or are you planning on being the same?
To be honest with you, I don't think there's much that needs to change. I mean, we all have a battle that we fight every day, I mean, like you said, your first reaction when you saw him go down was vengeance. And
no question.
Especially when you do a live show, so many of the things I've said that I regret or are unfortunate things, it's things that you get whipped up talking about something you're passionate about, and out of anger, something like that, you take it too far, you say something careless. And so, to the extent that it's a reminder of our mortality, I always try every day to keep it truthful, and to make sure that it's coming from the right place. I don't think we should be emotional. I don't think anger, and I agree with you, the chart that you showed, we shouldn't want to be angry. We should want to be prudent. We should want to be thoughtful, and we should want to act out of rationality as opposed to emotion. And so, to the extent that Charlie Kirk died, how it affected me, I'm going to try harder to move in that way. But I think I've been tending in that direction for a long time.
Did he inspire you?
Only thing that I ain't gonna lie, the Charlie Kirk death after made me so uncomfortable with how things are. How well I say the rhetoric of the left in America. It made me uncomfortable because here's the thing. When Charlie Kirk got assassinated, I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that the left was trying to create any excuse to celebrate that man's death, I was like kind of taken back at, because I was like, whoa, guys. And I don't think the left truly understand this, but on the right, we don't want y'all to die for y'all beliefs. I mean, we don't want to kill you just because you guys want to abort babies, or you believe in, I mean, genital mutilation of children or transgender. We don't want to kill you over that. I'll be honest with you, we don't. We think y'all are sick as hell sometimes. I'll be honest with you. We do think y'all wild as hell, but we don't want to kill you over it. Y'all actually want to kill us over our beliefs. Not kill us, not you, but you actually think that it's okay to commit political violence against people who disagree with you. Y'all actually was sitting there praising this man's death and trying to come up with any excuse to justify it. Like, be honest with you, I don't care if the man was a racist. You don't sit there and champion somebody's death. I don't care what he believed in. If Nick Fuentes died today, y'all can sit there and say he was a racist, and I would agree. But I'm not going to sit there and champion the man's death and say, ha, like, what the hell? The guy got a mom and a dad that obviously is going to be crying over it. Charlie Kirk's got a wife and kids that's obviously going to be crying over it. Why would you think that's okay to do? Like, y'all dehumanized a certain party at that point. You've dehumanized anybody who's MAGA if you honestly think that's okay. Just like y'all dehumanize a fetus. Like, y'all doing a whole lot of dehumanizing, and we're supposed to be the fascists, and we're supposed to be the monsters out here in the political sphere. But y'all are the dehumanizers.
Was there anything about him that inspired you?
Yes. The one thing that he inspired me about, because I did not like him when he was alive, I'll be honest with you. The one thing that inspired me is this guy was a workhorse. And I respect that, because I have a hard time with discipline. I'm not the most disciplined person when it comes to hard work. And this guy was a beast. I mean, the stuff that he did, working morning to night, you got to think he did a 3-hour show every day, wrote books. Then he went home and managed Turning Point. Then he went and flew out and did 100 campus events. That's just like him and Trump. They have that Protestant work ethic. And I know you're a capitalist, you're a businessman. There's nothing I respect more than people that build, people that work hard. That's noble. That's good. That's a virtue. So that was very inspirational to me.
I want 3 more hours with you because I got so many questions. I'm getting so. What do you think about Thomas Russo? Is there any thoughts you have of Thomas Russo?
I actually watched your show.
What do you think about him?
I think he's very disciplined, also very composed, very disciplined. But I just don't like that type of activism. I don't know how productive that is.
What did you disagree with him on?
He is a ideological racialist, and I believe that goes too far. I'm a Catholic. I don't know what his religious views are. I think there's a tendency from some white nationalists to idolize race. They believe that race is the highest.
Thomas Russo is also one of those white first guys, but it's kind of funny how Nick Fuentes is kind of trying to separate himself from Thomas Russo. And I'm like, come on, bro. You and him definitely agree a lot when it comes to race. Like, let's be honest.
Some white nationalists to idolize race. They believe that race is the highest virtue. As a Catholic, I do believe there's a universal community of human beings, that we are all human in a fundamental way. And although I do believe that race is real, I also think we're all humans also. So I would say he's more racialist than me. And I also think that from an ideological point of view, from a professional point of view, I just do not support that type of activism, these provocative marches where they're not getting in people's faces, but it is intended to provoke. It is intended to be transgressive. And I don't know how much I like that.
He was also interesting to get to know, and he was very good in the way he communicated. His style is very different than yours. He's very, the way he speaks is more here. You're more animated. You have a very smooth style of delivering your message, but actually wanted to know this guy to see what drove him. Your opinion of me. I'm Middle Eastern, married to a white girl. Okay. I'm from Iran. Christian guy. Mom's a Christian. Dad's a Christian. Mom was a communist. Dad was an imperialist. Went to Germany, refugee camp, came to the States. Do you think there should be more opportunities of guys like me to end up here? Or do you think it's better off for America, purely based on odds, to minimize more of me coming to America?
Well, I think that the most important thing to consider about immigration is it's just the volume, it's the numbers. I don't have a problem in principle with immigration at all. If we brought in 1 million, or maybe not 1 million, but if we brought in, let's say, 300,000 people every year that are like you, that are intelligent, that are productive, that are going to be generative, I don't necessarily have a problem with that in and of itself. The problem is that for 30 years, we bring in 2 or 3 million people per year. The foreign-born population has doubled. We brought in 50 to 60 million people since 1990. That's just too many people. And how I would distinguish it is that we're bringing in so many people that it's fundamentally altering what America is. You go to like Miami. Miami's like a Caribbean country. Like it doesn't even feel like America. It feels more like Costa Rica or something. You go to New York, LA, it doesn't feel like what America used to be, what America is distinctly. And that's what I have a problem with, that pretty soon everywhere it's going to be so diverse linguistically, ethnically, religiously, that you can't even say America is anything. Like the mayor of Minneapolis, he's doing advertisements in Somalian. What is that?
Yeah, they had a cop. The cop badge is now in Arabic. I don't know if you saw that or
yes.
not. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I think that's horrible.
What do you think about between the two communities, Muslim and Jews? Which one concerns you more?
Jews, for sure.
Tell me why.
More powerful.
Yeah,
they're more powerful.
So more powerful in a way. You're talking the fact that they have money.
Doing the modern day spirit is kind of crazy, because back in the day, if you asked that to my parents, I mean, not my parents, but if you asked that to your common American, they would have probably told you, you know what, it's the Muslims. But if you now talk today, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, it's probably most likely still going to be the Muslims, but there's going to be a larger group of people that's going to say Israel now. I mean, back in the day, it was almost unheard of to anybody to say, oh, Israel is probably a bigger threat than the Muslims. But today, yeah, people are starting to see things a little differently. Well, are starting to see Israel a little bit differently. And I guess we're tired of being, fear-mongered about Muslims into every war. I mean, let's be real. It can only work so much before just like, all right, man, you just can't like just say, oh, it's the Muslims every single time. We're just supposed to go head first into a war. Like, that's not going to work forever now. But it's somewhat working now.
You finance Hollywood. Is that what you're?
Yeah, they have more position in American society.
And how do you think they got that?
I think they got it because they are extremely connected. They're a transnational entity. This is how the Rothschilds got started. Their superpower is that they live everywhere, and they have their Jewish identity supersedes their local identity. So a Jewish person in America or in Germany or in France or in the UK, they can all talk to each other and work together.
Do you think that's a bad thing?
Not in and of itself. It is detrimental for America, though.
Is it detrimental though? Because I'm a Syrian, right? Mm-hmm. And I wish Assyrians were more like this.
I would say this. What's detrimental is that we do have politicians that seem to be a little bit more loyal to Israel, that seem to be Israel first instead of America first, and that's a problem. That is a problem. It's like the fact that there is a politician who's literally say, I believe I was meant to serve America for Israel. I believe that I was called to be a politician to, serve Israel. That's a problem. I mean, the fact that you're putting some other nation that you weren't born in over your own, it's crazy to me. So, yeah, that is a problem, how we do have what's they're called Zionism. Yeah, the whole Zionism thing, that is a problem in my eyes. Like, that's not America first. And then here's a problem. Those people try to hide under America first, like Laura Loomer, who tries to say, well, if you're not Israel first, you're not America first. I'm like, what the hell are you trying to say, sis? Like, that don't even make sense on his face. Like, what do you, like, shut up. Just be quiet and sit down with your Islamophobic ass. Sit in the corner, because people like her don't need to be listened to be quite honest. And you know what? You can sit there and hate Muslims all you want. I ain't even mad about that. I'm just mad about how people are using, these Zionists are always passing things off on Muslims and then getting us to get into conflicts in the Middle East. Like, that's what I don't like. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Somalis in Minnesota ain't a problem, or the Muslims in Texas and them trying to have their own little sea. I'm not trying to say that's not a problem. I'm just tired of that group of people being used as a lead way into a conflict.
Mhm.
And let me tell you why I relate to them. We don't have a country. Assyrians used to have a country. We used to be the first warriors. We were written about in the Bible. You read it all over the place. You know, the history we had, the things we invented. And then we became a little cocky. And God came in and was like, listen, man, relax, Assyrians. You ain't going to come and be the king of the jungle. It's me. And you hear the stories about that they built the tower to go all the way to the top because we are Assyrians. And, you know, and then we failed.
Competent
He's
people.
like, no, look at you now. No one knows who Assyrians are. You don't even have a country, right? We know the land in Iraq or wherever you are. You don't have it anymore. I think when a community becomes too cocky, the man upstairs is going to handle that himself, right? But in a sense,
Nah, I'm sorry, but that one comment right here was like, well, he said Kirk was a dude who went to colleges to debate kids because his viewpoints couldn't be defended against competent people. I'm like, damn, so everybody in every college, I mean, is not competent, even though there's probably people who are older than Kirk in college. I mean, he also did debate college professors as well. Like, they weren't competent as well. Like, you know, that whole argument of, oh, well, he was just debating college students. I mean, yeah, he's debating a campus full of mainly grown-ass adults. We're talking about people that's past 18. Like, majority of the students in college are over 18. These are grown-ass adults. So you're telling me that they can't defend their positions against a 30-year-old who went to, what, community college, I believe? Like, are you serious? And then here's the thing. He's also debating kids on highly established, like, colleges. Like, come on, the man went to Oxford and was cooking liberals. Oxford. So I mean, you're really trying to sit there and say that those aren't competent people? I mean, okay. I think that's highly disingenuous, but okay. I mean, shoot, I hope you ain't sending your kids to college then, because apparently you're sending them there not to be competent people, in your own words.
when you see they went from a small
apparently college
community
is
to
a
have
scam.
this much
Like,
influence.
I mean, damn near did just say, should I help out? You damn near did just prove Kirk's point. I mean, you damn near saying college is a scam, not filled with competent people. These not filled with competent people because they can't debate Charlie Kirk. They can't cook Charlie Kirk. That's are no longer competent people. But they're in college though. I mean, some of them are paying their own rent, got a job, car, and all that good stuff. But not competent people because they can't debate Charlie Kirk. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Isn't that almost impossible for them to pull off? Like, isn't that so? It either produces one of two things. I'm not intimidated. I'm not a guy that is envious or jealous or, oh my God, that guy's richer than me. That guy's this guy's. I'm not. I want to see what they did and what worked for them. For example, to me, when I think about Jews, I think about Mormons, I think about Scientologists. I used to have an office where half the office was all Scientology, and I learned all these phrases, assist, or, I went to their church and so Dianetics and L. Ron Hubbard, and what he would say when you get a headache, you do this, and all these weird extra. I'm like, oh, interesting. How much money did we give? $200,000. Why'd you give that? But let me tell you, those guys that were in, they had each other's back. It was a fraternity that you wish family members were like this, right? I think Scientologists have it maybe more than Jews. So I think Jews will bite each other a little bit, not as much. And then Mormons have each other's back. Of course, there's a falling out as well where people come out and they'll talk about God makers or, what Gordon B. Hinckley, and I've read all of that stuff from over the years. But what's wrong with them winning at the highest level?
Well, I agree with you that it is remarkable, and it is actually ominous how much they've achieved.
And shout out Toad. She says that is literally the point of college. Challenging your way of thinking, exploring new ideas, and all that. Is like, I don't know why people actually make that argument, go, oh, he was just debating college kids. I'm like, yeah, honestly, that's the best people to debate. Like, they're going to be the ones that's going to be your new politicians, like out into the workforce, doctors, scientists. Like, this is the next generation of voters. Why wouldn't you want to talk to them? And then here's the thing. These guys are supposed to be writing essays and all this wild stuff. I mean, they defend their ideas in them. So why can't they defend their ideas on the mic? But they're not competent because what? They can't beat Charlie Kirk's point. I mean, doesn't that just mean that Charlie Kirk may have just had a really good point?
Here's the problem, though. America's an open society. The premise of this country is it's self-government. of, by, for the people. There's this egalitarian idea that we are all citizens, and our government is going to be comprised of the citizenry of America. That's deeply embedded in who we are and in our government and our whole system. And take me, for example, I'm Italian, Mexican, and Irish. The Italians were very much like this when they immigrated to America. You know, they had in Chicago what they called the outfit, which was the mafia, and they looked out for each other. And when my grandfather died on my mom's side, I believe my grandmother got a loan from the outfit. And they would come by every month or whatever, and they'd bring a fruit basket and they'd look after her, and they provided financially.
Was it Spilatra's group? Do you know the history of it, or was it Tony Spilatra?
I don't know who it was specifically.
Okay, got it.
But so these are some of the stories I would hear growing up from my mom and my grandmother.
So think about at that time, how many people were against Italians? At that time, how many people didn't like Italians in New York? Because Bank of America was first called Bank of Italy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So can you pull up, Rob? Was Bank of America first Bank of Italy? If I'm wrong, it is what it is. I think Bank of America was originally Bank of Italy, and everybody used to. Yes, the Bank of America was originally founded in Bank of Italy in 1904.
What?
To an Italian American in San Francisco, and the financial needs of Italian immigrants and other underserved people. The bank eventually merged with another institution to form Bank of America and changed its name to Bank of America. Right? The tellers were.
And shout out to my man Hellbat. He said he didn't debate students, he debated voters. Man, I'm God though. Stop patronizing the college folk. Like honestly, and here's the thing: is like I said, like bro, if you can't debate and you're in college and you're calling them incompetent, then if you have that mindset that Charlie Kirk was just debating incompetent college students, then don't send your kid to college. You just kind of prove one of Charlie Kirk's point right there that college is a scam. I mean, since you're unsatisfied with the debate performance of these college students, I mean, thanks for proving that man's point.
Italians, they would
R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Even in death, he's still cooking. He's still cooking. It's like, it's probably perfect time for this video right here. Like,
again. I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it. I feel it. He's cooking.
Give small little loans, $10, $4, $5 to them. And some people are not supportive of that. They're like, what are Italian immigrants doing here? You guys are becoming too much power in New York. We're not happy about this. So there was some of that going on 100 years ago.
And that's what I'm saying is that did exist. And then what happened eventually is that Italians assimilated. Eventually, these groups, these ethnic advocacy groups were broken up, if you could call the outfit that, or the mob of New York. And then Italians assimilated. And when I grew up, I saw myself as American. I didn't see myself as Italian American. I just saw myself as American. And I think that, when you see Jewish people working together, I don't think there's anything wrong with that inherently. And I agree with you. It's like a superpower. It's actually admirable in some ways. They look out for each other. But if society becomes, American society in particular, a place where every group is ganging up, well, we're the whites, we're the blacks, we're the Jews, then I think what America is starts to come apart, and it turns into kind of like a bit of a politicized race war. And I think that you either have to have a society where everybody gets to play by those rules and everybody could be pro what they are, or everybody is assimilated and we're all Americans. And that's why I say it's detrimental, is that if Jewish people are Jewish first, not of by.
Yeah, I give them that one. I always do say, because I don't like how some people will come to this country and have all the economic opportunity but be their country first. And I don't think it's good for assimilation if you're another country first. You should be America first. And that's the only way we will find unity, is if we care about more being American than, anything else. That's going to be one of the main ways we find unity. And I mean, that requires us to look past race and all that good stuff. And that's pretty hard for a lot of people to do. Race, religion, we have to look past all that and be like, look, if you're an American and you're proud to be an American, you're one of my kind, and we're on the same side, even if we disagree.
For America, but of, by, and for the Jewish nation, this is problematic when they're in positions of power, because are they looking out for all of us, or are they looking out for themselves first? And when you look at the Israel policy, that's where people start to say, I think you're looking out for yourselves first. I think you're biased. And unfortunately, you're using the public purse and American soldiers to fight your own battles. And that's the problem. It's not, I don't have hatred for them. I don't have a problem with them in themselves or even what they do. It's just that with our system, that doesn't work.
You know what I would say to that as well? When you know, if they use the American soldiers in their advantage and all that other stuff. Okay. Who negotiated that deal? Some president negotiated that deal. Someone said yes to it, right? When they say, well, let me tell you, you know, that person is afraid to platform this guy because he's afraid his donors are going to go and do this. And it's Israel's fault. No, it's not. It's the guy who runs it's not Israel's fault. What are you talking about? You know, this guy sends me a message. APAC. I got a text, not a text. What do you call it in the X? A DM I get from APAC. Okay. Hey, we'd like you to come to Israel. We'd like to invite you. I'm sure many people get that message, right? They send it. I said, I'm going to come with my pastor. I don't want you to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. I want to bring my crew because I want to go see Jerusalem. You're not going to see me putting the what do they call it? The
kippah.
I'm not going to put that on. But guess what? I respect the culture, and I want to go to Gaza, and I would ask for some idea of protection that if we can go to Gaza, show it to her. I want to see this stuff. I want to go with my pastor. First time around, I'm not going to take my kids. Maybe the second, third time, I'll take my kids. But to me, I don't put the onus on, like when a guy's like, that guy has slept with so many people, this, and the girl said yes.
Ha.
No, but you don't understand.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn it in for here because I kind of went a little bit over time, but damn, an hour over time. But it was fun, though. Today was a fun live. But I'm going to go ahead and catch y'all tomorrow, guys. Make sure you guys double tap that screen and make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do this every night. Appreciate the support, guys. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and close out, well, with some music. Why not?